You have opened 1,000 of them, and you have never asked the question. A pizza arrives at your door in a square cardboard box, fresh from the delivery driver. Inside the square box is a round pizza, and the four corners of the box are empty. Air, cardboard, wasted. The shape doesn't match the food at all. It has been this way your entire life. At every chain, at every independent shop, in every country that delivers pizza, the mismatch is so universal, you have stopped seeing it as a mismatch. But there is a reason a billion-dollar industry has shipped around food in square boxes for 60 years. And it isn't laziness or tradition or aesthetic preference. It's a 1960s factory floor calculation that rules every pizzeria in the world. Two pieces of geometry overlapping in a 5-cent piece of cardboard. Here on the reason why. Open the next pizza box that arrives at your house and look at the geometry. The pizza is a circle. The box is a square. The four corners of the box are filled with absolutely nothing. No food, no garnish, no folded napkin, just air and a small layer of grease that wasn't asked to be there. A standard 14-inch pizza in a 14-inch box leaves about 40 sole square inches of empty cardboard. Multiply that by the billions of pizzas delivered every year, and the world is producing an absurd amount of empty corners. And yet, every chain, Domino's, Papa John's, your local, uses the same shape. The mismatch is industry standard. The reason starts with how corrugated cardboard is actually made. Corrugated isn't one piece of paperboard. It's 3 layers, 2 flat outer sheets glued to a wavy middle layer, called the fluting, that gives the board its strength. The board comes off the factory line in giant flat rolls, which then get cut and folded into boxes by a machine. The cheapest, fastest box a corrugated machine can produce is one made from a single rectangular sheet with parallel folds that closes into a square. Every additional cut, every additional fold, every non-parallel edge costs the machine time and costs the operator material. Now, imagine making a round pizza box. To form a circle from a flat sheet, you need either a die-cut disc with a flexible side strip or 6 trapezoidal panels glued at their edges. Either approach requires a custom die, more cuts per box, and more glue per box. The waste from a die-cut circle is the 4 corners of the original square sheet, exactly the area you were trying to eliminate by going round. So you save no cardboard. You add machine cycles. You add manual quality checks. The round box costs more to manufacture than the square box. And it does worse on the back end too. Pizza shops don't store boxes assembled. They store them flat, in stacks against a wall, until the moment an order comes in. A flat square box folds out of one rectangular sheet in 2 seconds with one motion. A flat round box requires 6 panels and a custom forming jig. Multiply by 200 boxes a night, and the round box has burned an extra hour of staff time before a single pizza is sliced. And then the boxes go into the delivery car. Square boxes stack in a perfect column on a passenger seat. Round boxes don't stack. They roll, they slide, they shift on every turn, and the cheese ends up against the lid. But here is the part that turns this from a packaging story into a business story. In 1965, a man named Tom Monahan, who had bought a single pizzeria in Ypsilanti, Michigan, started a chain he called Domino's. Monahan understood that pizza delivery was actually a logistics business, not a food business. The franchise that delivered the most pizzas the fastest with the lowest cost would win. So he obsessed over the box. He standardized on the corrugated B-flute square box from one supplier. He demanded that every store fold the boxes the same way, in under 3 seconds each, and stack them in the same way against the same back wall. The square box even solves the thermal problem. A round box, sitting flush around a hot pizza, traps steam between the cardboard lid and the cheese. The cheese gets soggy in transit, but a square box has 4 empty corners. Those corners act as natural vents. Steam rises off the pizza, hits the lid, condenses on the empty cardboard at the corners instead of falling back onto the food. The corners that look like wasted space are actually doing the job of a small vent stack. Some boxes add a literal vent hole punched into the lid. The high-end ones add corrugated ridges to lift the lid 0.5 millimeter off the cheese. So the next time the pizza arrives at your door in a square box and you notice the 4 empty corners, remember, the corners are not waste. They are the result of 60 years of compounding factory floor decisions. The corrugated machine that costs less to run with parallel folds. The pizzeria worker who folds 2 OO boxes a night. The delivery car that holds a clean stack instead of a sliding pile. And the steam that vents into the corners instead of soaking the cheese. The square box won because it was cheaper, faster, sturdier, and drier in every measurable way. The round food in a square container is the rare case where geometry and economics agreed completely. Once you know that, the square pizza box stops looking lazy and starts looking ruthlessly engineered. The 4 empty corners aren't a design failure. They're the savings the corrugated machine extracted by refusing to make a custom shape. The flat stack against the back wall isn't tidiness. It's an inventory system that lets a teenage pizzeria worker fold 2 O boxes a night without thinking. The clean column on the passenger seat isn't a coincidence. It's the only geometry that survives a delivery car taking a left turn. And the slightly soggy cheese on the lid is the steam that didn't escape into the corners that were supposed to vent it. Every single one of those decisions was made by someone you'll never meet. A corrugated engineer, a 1960s franchise owner, a packaging buyer at Domino's headquarters, long before the box ever showed up at your door. The pizza box is one of the most thoroughly optimized objects in your daily life, and you've never noticed because it does the optimizing invisibly. It just looks like a square box with a round pizza inside, and that's exactly what it was supposed to look like. 60 years of compounding decisions, hidden inside 5 cents of cardboard, opened by a stranger, 1 pie at a time, and tossed into a recycling bin without a second thought. If this kind of small cardboard decision, quietly shaping your daily life story, is your speed, there is a whole channel of stories like it. The reasons behind everyday objects you have stopped questioning. Subscribe so the next one finds you and quietly lands in your feed.